Hi guys, this is course 2, lesson 4.5. Please get your notebooks out and copy down the title of these notes and we'll get ready to start this lesson. Today what we're going to look at is exploring two-step problems. So the first example that we want to go over is writing and evaluating expressions. So remember, an expression is just a math problem with no equal sign, or without an equal sign. So the first step that you need to do when you write an algebraic expression is you need to define a variable. Once you define your variable, or say what your variable is going to be equal to, you are then going to write an algebraic expression. So let's look at the phrase that they give us here. The phrase is $10 plus 5 times the number of roses ordered. So this part right here, the number of roses ordered, that's going to be our variable. So because they're asking us how many there are. So that's going to be our variable. So we define the variable, and that's this right here. N equals the number of roses ordered. That's defining the variable. So the first thing you want to do is tell what the variable represents. Then you're going to write your algebraic expression. So we look at the English sentence, and we have 10 plus. So we write the 10 and then plus, and then $5 times, so we know this is plus, times the number of roses ordered, which we know is N. So then we just rewrite that right here, 10 plus 5 times N. And then it can be rewritten without the multiplication dot, because we already know that a number next to a variable means to multiply. So instead of writing 5 times N, we can just write 5N. So then they ask you, once you've written your algebraic expression, you're asked to evaluate the expression for 12 roses. So 12 roses is what N is equal to, because remember, we defined the variable up here that N is the number of roses ordered. So N is equal to 12. So we're going to replace N with 12. So we have 10 plus 5 times 12, and we follow order of operations, or PEMDAS. 5 times 12 is 60, and then 10 plus 60 is 70. So the cost for 12 roses would be $70. It's a lot of money. Okay, let's look at the quick check here. Try another one. First, we're going to define the variable and write an algebraic expression for, here's our phrase, a man is 2 years younger than 3 times his son's age. So the first thing we want to do is we want to define the variable. So we'll call the variable X, and you can call it a different letter if you want. And the question that we're trying to find here is his son's age. That's going to be our variable. Because we do not know that. So a man is 2 years younger. So if you're younger than someone, you're going to subtract. So we're going to have to subtract 2, then 3 times his son's age, which we set as X. Now when we have subtraction, it gets a little confusing, because what we're going to have to do is really, we need to subtract the 2 years from 3x. So our algebraic expression, we need to flip around. So it's going to be 3 times the son's age, and then he's 2 years younger, so then we subtract 2. That's the algebraic expression. Now we need to evaluate the algebraic expression to find the man's age if the son is 13. So if the son is 13, that is going to be x. So we're going to replace x with 13. So we have 3 times 13 minus 2. 3 times 13 is 39, and 39 minus 2 is 37. So that means that the dad is 37 years old. Okay, here's another story problem. Suppose your grandmother sends you 5 games for your birthday. Let's underline what we think is important. So she sends 5 games. That seems like that would be important. Each game has the same weight. Do we know the weight? No, so that might be our variable. The box she mails them in weighs 8 ounces. So the box is 8 ounces, and the total weight is 48 ounces. What is the weight of one game? Right here, this is pretty nice because the weight of one game is going to be the variable. So in this problem here, they use the variable g. So g is going to be the weight of one game. Then we know that there are 5 games. We know that the box is equal to, what does it say, 8 ounces. And the total weight is equal to 48 ounces. So we took all the information in the problem and wrote it out. So what they did is they drew a picture, which I think is very helpful. So this box here represents the total weight of the box. Okay, so this top part here is the total weight. Then the bottom part, they divided up. And this here represents game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4, and game 5. And then this here, this last bigger box, is the weight of the box that she ships it in. So if we take and we add all these games together, so g plus g plus g plus g plus g plus the weight of the box, we're going to get the total weight. Well, an easier way of writing g plus g plus g plus g plus g is 5 times g and then the 8. And then we're going to add those two together because when we add them together, that equals the total weight, which is 48. So you can see down here that here's the equation, 5g plus 8 equals 48. Since it's an equation, we can solve it. So let's see what is the weight of one game. So we have 5 times g plus 8 equals 48. So we have 2 steps to solve this equation. So what we're going to do is first we want to undo addition. So we're going to subtract 8 from each side. That's 0. And we have 5g left on this side equals 40. And then we can ask ourselves, what number do we multiply 5 by to get 40? And we multiply 5 by, if you divide 5 on each side, we would multiply 5 by 8 to get 40. So g is equal to 8. So that means that each game weighs 8 ounces. And then this is your answer. So not only do you have to write the algebraic expression you also, or the algebraic equation, you also need to solve the equation. So it's a long problem. So let's look at these problems here, and we're going to solve the equations using number sense. So what we ask ourselves is, we cover this part up, we say, what number plus 9 is equal to 21? What number plus 9 is equal to 21? And that would be, if you're struggling, you can always subtract. That would be 12. So that means that this 3m is going to equal 12. So if we say 3m is equal to 12, what times 3 is equal to 12? M is going to be equal to 4. So we can use some mental math to help us find the answer to these problems. So let's look at this. We cover up the 8D. What plus 5 is equal to 45? Well, we know this should be 40 plus 5 is equal to 45. So how can we make 8D equal to 40? 8 times what is equal to 40? Well, 8 times 5 is equal to 40. So that means D equals 5. Again, using mental math. Look at this problem. Cover up the 4y. What number minus 11 is equal to 33? Well, we should know that 44 minus 11 equals 33. So that means that 4y has to equal 44. Now we need to figure out what the y is. So we ask ourselves, 4 times what is 44? And y would be equal to 11, because we know that 4 times 11 is equal to 44. 4 times 11 equals 44. All right, let's look at this last problem. Suppose you buy a jumbo lemonade for $1.50 and divide the cost of an order of chicken wings with 2 friends. So if you have 2 friends plus yourself, how many people are you dividing this in between? You are splitting with 3 people, okay? Your 2 friends and then you. And the total bill is going to be $5.50. So we can take some words and we say the cost of lemonade plus the cost of chicken wings divided by 3, because remember we're splitting it between you and your 3 friends. Your total cost then is equal to $5.50. So if the Z is the cost of the chicken wings, we can write our equation. We know the cost of the lemonade is, right here it tells us the lemonade is $1.50. Plus the cost of the wings, we don't know the cost of the wings. We're assigning that the variable Z. So we have Z divided by the people that it's divided, the number of people eating the wings, which is 3, is in math always means equals $5.50. So another way that we can write this is 150 plus Z over 3, because remember the fraction bar line means to divide, and that equals $5.50. So the first thing that we want to do is get rid of that $1.50. So if we subtract that, that's gone. So we have then Z divided by 3 is equal to 4. So we ask ourselves, what number divided by 3 is equal to 4? If you can't think of it, you can always take and multiply these 2 numbers together. So 3 times 4, and multiply those, is 12. So the cost of the wings is going to be $12. Okay, let's look at this last problem. Why don't you pause the video and try this one on your own, and then we'll come back and do this together. During the first half of the game, you scored 8 points. In the second half, you made only 3-point baskets. You finished the game with 23 points. Okay, so your first half plus the second half is going to equal the total points that you've scored. So in the first half of the game, you score 8 points. Plus, the second half of the game, you only made 3-point baskets. Well, how many points did you get for a 3-point basket? 3 points. Do you know how many baskets you made? No, that's going to be your variable, x. And they tell you this here, how many 3-point baskets you made. So that's what we're trying to find. So we should have defined the variable first. X equals the number of 3-pointers that you made. So we have 3 times x, and that's going to equal your total points, which is, you finished the game with 23 points. So to solve this equation, we subtract 8. That cancels. So we have 3x is equal to 15, and we can ask ourselves what number, 3 times what number is 15, and we know that that's 5. So how many 3-point baskets did you make? 5 3-pointers. Okay, that's it for today. If you have any questions, please come to class and ask them tomorrow. Thanks. Have a good day.